You know, some people are really bad at picking partners. I'm obviously not one of those. But I think I am kind of bad at picking trucks. Hi, I'm Felix.
And I'm Cindy.
In 2019, we sold everything and moved into our RV full time.
Since then, we've been traveling the country following my nursing contracts. On this channel, we hope to help others find their path to full-time RV living. We are the Roaming Gomes.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. For those of you new around here, I'm Felix.
And I'm Cindy.
And we are the Roaming Gomes. And Cindy has started her new contract.
Finally.
After about, what, a month off?
3 weeks.
3 weeks. And she's breaking 2 different records.
Yep, smallest hospital. This hospital has 87 beds. And my shortest commute, which is just barely 5 minutes, depending on traffic.
Yeah, and I can tell you, Cottonwood doesn't have much in the way of traffic. That's the one thing about Cottonwood is like, it's like Sedona light.
Yeah.
Almost, you know, it's Sedona, but without all of the touristy stuff, yeah. and that the heavy duty traffic. There was a lot of traffic in Sedona both times we were there.
Yeah.
But Cottonwood is just beautiful. I mean, and we're recording this at Dead Horse Ranch State Park, as you can see the beauty behind us. But I want to talk about trucks.
Don't all guys want to talk about trucks?
Well, yeah. But I feel like a lot of guys have better choices. I have a long storied history with trucks. The first truck I ever bought was I think it was a 99?
Something like that. It was old.
Yeah, it was an old, kind of beat up Dodge Dakota. And I bought that for like one purpose. It was just to, like, if we needed to move something, we went and picked up a recliner with it. Mm-hmm. We didn't have a car that could do that, you know. So it was, and we were going to go do yard sailing with it. And then I decided to buy a boat. And the Dakota was not sufficient to tow a boat. As a matter of fact, it kind of just came up on my memories on Facebook that I almost lost the truck and the boat going down a ramp. The emergency brake failed and the thing started to drift back into the water.
Too bad we didn't have GoPros and video cameras that we owned back then that we could have gotten that. That would have been some great B-roll.
Oh yeah, definitely. But what I ended up doing was I traded that truck in. They actually gave me back what I paid for it too, and I traded it into CarMax. And I bought this F-150. And for my boat,
it was great.
It was perfect.
Yeah.
It was the perfect truck. The thing was rock solid. Even when I got the bigger boat, when I went from the John boat to the actual bass boat, no problems. I could back that thing down a ramp, have absolutely no worries that it was going to slip, slide, do anything. And I went along with that for about, a year? A little over a year? And that's when Cindy and I made the decision to go on the road full time. And we bought our RV, our first RV, Keystone Bullet. And needless to say, it weighed a whole heck of a lot more than that boat. And the F-150 was not sufficient for it.
The guys at where we bought the Bullet actually said that the Bullet was better than another RV that we were looking at. So we actually downsized from what we originally had looked at to fit with the truck that we had.
Yeah, I mean, the service manager at Camping World actually said to us, I can't let you buy that camper. And we ended up buying the Bullet.
Yeah.
Well, I came to find out that the F-150 was grossly underpowered for that, even for that Bullet.
We got to New Mexico.
Yeah, And we've told this story before, but coming through Santa Rosa and going over the mountains to get to Las Cruces, I had no power. I was actually overheating or beginning to overheat the transmission on the truck. And when we got to Las Cruces, it got us there. And I mean, God bless that truck. It got us all 2,300 miles across country. And when we got to Las Cruces, we had a discussion, and it was a kind of a no-brainer. We needed to get a different truck. And we bought this F-250 from a local guy who buys and sells fleets of trucks. And we were told, or I was told, that this truck was a fleet truck for a construction company, and it was the supervisor's truck. It was a 2012. I was buying it in 2020, and it only had 35,000 miles on it. And when I hooked it up to the Bullet to go to Tucson, I was driving like I was just driving the truck, like there was nothing attached to it. The truck was perfect for that RV. And then when we went from Tucson all the way across country to Tifton, Georgia, we had to go through a lot of hills in Texas. And that truck performed amazingly well, pulling the Bullet. Now, when we left Tifton and went to North Carolina, we made the decision to buy a bigger RV. And this, my friends, is where we are going to tell you, do not make the mistake we made. If you're gonna buy a bigger RV, don't buy an RV that's right at the maximum weight that your truck can pull. Bottom line is, you will not be happy with the performance.
Are we going to get blown away here?
I don't know. This wind suddenly came out of nowhere.
Battling high winds and other fantastically adverse weather conditions.
Coming back across the country from Allentown back to Albuquerque, New Mexico, we really didn't have to go through much in the way of hills, the way it was directing us.
Yeah.
So the truck was fine. And it controlled the rig, no problems. We came there, I mean, I went through some pretty bad winds in Illinois and Kansas, and no problem whatsoever. When the truck really started to show its age was most recently on our trip from Tucson to here in Cottonwood. And I think that's a demonstration of it's not always about the miles that are on the truck. It's got something to do with the age too. Worn. It was getting worn out. And then coming up a couple of 5% and 6% grades, coming to Cottonwood, the truck was losing a lot of power. I'm not saying it was to the point of what happened to the F-150 in Santa Rosa, but you could tell that the truck was not doing well. So, we got here, and Cindy and I had another discussion.
We had already, the 250 was paid off.
Yeah.
So that was a payment we didn't have, so we could get another payment. And Felix is really good at shopping around, looking to see exactly what's out there, exactly what we need, not too much, not too little, and was able to find a really good deal on this new truck. And
there was another thing about the F-250, and I didn't complain about it much, but it was really uncomfortable to drive.
Yeah, it's kind of a basic truck.
It was as basic as you can get. The truck was never intended, when it was purchased, to be something that you towed cross-country with. It was intended to do short little trips to the construction site, run around on the construction site, and then probably go home to that guy's driveway and, wash, rinse, repeat. It had none of the amenities that, even the basic amenities that most vehicles have these days.
It didn't have cruise control. The seats were leather and not very comfortable and hot. And it was just not.
Actually, let me clarify that. The seats were pleather.
But I'm partial to cloth seats myself. But
Me too.
But there was just a lot of minor things that kind of added up to it was time to get something, particularly something that had more power to pull.
And
So
thus, I ended up at Larry Green Chevrolet here in Cottonwood, Arizona. And I got this. This is a 2016 Ram 2500. It's got the 6.4 liter Hemi for those of you who are into engines. And it definitely has a higher towing capacity than the 250 had. Which, if you look online and do the comparison apples to apples, you wouldn't think that that would necessarily be the case. But it's absolutely true. And I think a lot of that goes to the age. It was a 13-year-old truck.
yeah,
The age of the 250. Also, to address my other issue, this truck has all of the amenities. It's got cloth seats that are really comfortable.
cruise control, which he really, really wanted.
Yeah. I mean, those long stretches, like going through Illinois and Kansas, it was long, straight, flat road. I could have just put it in cruise control and just headed down the road. I don't believe for a second I'd be able to leave it in cruise control going up some of those hills, but I guess we'll find out.
Oh boy.
Anyway, so yeah, we've got a new truck. And if there's anything I want you guys to take from this, is be aware of what it is you're buying, both for your RV and your truck, and as a couple.
There are a lot of new RVers out there that we're seeing, and they have a lot of questions about these kind of things. Just what to us is very basic is things that new RVers are wanting to know. So we hope that this is a good cautionary tale for you to understand that it's important to take everything into consideration, not just will it tow it. It's will it tow it well? Will it tow it over long distances? Will it tow it
Up and down hills.
up and down hills and in lots of different situations if you're going to be going long distances particularly?
And it's funny, you talk about that there's a lot of new RVers out there, and everybody's talking about how the RV industry is in a downturn.
Maybe from the middle of COVID when people were buying and buying and buying and buying, but now they're selling all of those.
Yeah,
So-
and somebody's buying them. So I don't think it's in as much of a downturn as people are indicating.
So if there's any new RVers that have more questions than this, have questions about towing, but if you have other questions, we'll be glad to answer those. You can put those in the comments, and we will get back to you ASAP, and be glad to help with anything at all, from toilet paper to whatever, anything that you're
What you
worried
can
about.
and can't put in the black tank. And if you want to see more about the trip here to Cottonwood that drove us to buying this new truck, take a look at this video right here.